Here we are. We're live. We're live with Barbara Ames. And I am so excited to talk to Barbara today because we're going to be talking about filling your programs. And I don't know about you, but for me personally, I find this is a bit of a challenge. And you have a unique approach to filling your programs and your calendar. And before we jump into that, though, can you just give a little summary of like who you are and what you do in the world?
Thank you. I'd love to. Hello, Elizabeth. Hi, everybody. Obviously, my name is Barbara Ames. You can read that on the the lower third. But I've been an entrepreneur for almost 30 years.
Oh my goodness, I can't
And
believe it.
I know I had a toy company where I manufactured and designed and sold my toys all over the world, and I was dubbed the grandmother of green toys because I actually created the category of green toys that everybody else jumped into afterwards. So I had a really successful time as an entrepreneur, and kind of caught me off guard because I've always been this like hippie chick from San Francisco, and to discover that I actually had a knack for business and marketing kind of caught me off guard a bit. And so, like so many other change makers, I decided I wanted to use those talents for the good and create a laptop lifestyle for myself, right? I got swept away by that image of, you know, you know, laptop on the beach and the sales are rolling in. So I thought perfect way to, leverage my talents that I had discovered, help others and earn a nice, comfortable living for myself as well through the internet. So I said to myself, look, how hard could it be?
Little did you know.
Little did I know. So I sold my toy company and I set out on this journey to get clients online and start this whole, internet coaching business. And let me give you and your listeners a quick tip here. Don't ever ask the universe how hard something can be unless you really want to know the answer.
Yeah. We really have to be careful what we ask the universe. That's for sure.
My goodness, yes. So it was a bit more than it was to attract clients online and fill my program that I created was quite a bit more than what I had anticipated. Yeah. So, I, like so many others, I study with Frank Kern and Amy Porterfield, and I got my whole program created. And, I'm a good student like so many others, right? I got my target audience and figured out what problem I was solving for them, created this amazing program, and got my whole funnel together, all the pieces plugged in. Yeah.
And then
I launched and I'll never forget, Elizabeth. I was so excited. I was just dead certain, that I would come home, come downstairs. I have my offices in my basement, and I was chuckling to myself about my commute down the stairs. I that morning I woke up, I made myself a nice cup of coffee. I went on my long commute down the stairs, logged onto my computer, and you can guess the rest, right?
Yeah.
Nothing. There was nothing.
Oh my goodness.
I had no sales. I had no nothing. I had no views. I had an atta girl from one of my friends, oh, you go, Barb, right?
Oh no. Oh no.
So I realized, wow, there might be a little bit more to this.
Mm-hmm. And what was one of the things that you realized that was missing?
Yeah, the biggest thing that I realized I was missing was an audience. Right? I was posting on Facebook. I was doing some Facebook ads. And although I had my target audience, like none of the, I had like all the people that were seeing about my program were people I already knew, my friends. They weren't my target audience,
Yes.
and so I was scratching my head going, well, how am I going to get in front of the people that I was imagining was my target audience at the time? Because
Mhm.
I had no experience with this. I didn't really know.
Mhm.
And so where am I going to find these people? Where am I going to
Yeah.
dig them up? How am I going to get in front of them?
Mhm. Mhm.
And, that's when I realized like all the people that I had been learning from, everybody that was saying, all the Amy Porterfields, the Frank Kerns, the Danny Ines, all these people, right? They were saying, just have a funnel, just do a webinar, just have this, just
Yeah.
have that piece,
Mhm.
and I had done all of it. And,
Mhm.
and
And
I
then crickets.
I had nothing on crickets. Yes. And so
Mhm.
that's when I started realizing, wait, what is one thing that they all have that I don't? And that's when I realized they all had an email list. They had people who were following them on
Right.
social media, on their email. So when they launched a course, as I had just done, they sent an email out to everybody, including me, and we all bought it and everybody was happy.
Yeah.
And so that's what I realized, I'm at ground zero. I've got nobody in terms
Yeah.
of my target audience, just my best buds, that were following me on Facebook, my friends.
Yeah. So a
Yeah.
list is so important. How did you go about getting a list and an audience? Like what was your next step?
Yeah. So next step, I said, all right, so this is what I have to do, right? Everybody was saying, well, you got to put yourself out there.
Mhm.
Right? To attract people, you got to put yourself out there. So I started blogging, I started making videos, I started posting fun things on Facebook. I started doing Facebook lives like this, all this, just like all this incredible busy work.
Yeah.
And again, like 6 months later, Elizabeth, I had nothing. I had more atta girls from my friends, but it wasn't cutting through the chase. It wasn't
Oh,
cutting through the thing. It wasn't reaching out and finding, the people were just not finding me
right.
that I knew that I could help. And so I remember I went to this talk by this presenter who had been fabulously successful, and I learned something really important that day.
Mhm.
What I learned is that we used to be in the age of information,
Mhm.
right? When the
Mhm.
internet was young and new and fresh, was when we were in the age of information. And that's where everybody was going. Like it was like this new thing, right? And we still do that, right? You Google
Yeah.
something when you want to know it. And so it was so easy. The advice that I was following was you just put yourself out there and people will eventually find you because everybody is looking for information. But
Mhm.
what this speaker taught me is that we have since gone past the age of information. We are not in the age of information anymore.
Mhm.
That we
What
are
did you say?
inundated with information, right? Is there anything that you cannot find with a,
Yeah.
so people that are just pumping stuff out, it's not enough to get people's attention.
Right.
We're now actually in the age of connection,
Oh, okay.
like the name of your show, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so the way that we are getting in front of people, the way that we are getting ourselves out there is through connection. So
Yeah.
it's not just sitting in your home office all by yourself churning out articles. I mean, I suppose that works for some people, and certainly if you have 10 or 20 years,
Yeah.
but I didn't, right? I was already 6 months into this thing and I had not made a dime. So what the speaker was talking about is that the strongest, best way to build your list in the age of connection is by connecting with others in your industry. It's kind
Mhm.
of counterintuitive, isn't it? Like you're thinking,
Yeah.
well, aren't they my competitors?
Right.
But it
Yeah.
turns out that in the old business paradigm, which the old paradigm of business is based on this notion of scarcity,
Right.
that there's
Yeah.
only so much to go around. So
Mhm.
any client of mine is not a client of yours, or vice versa. So if I
Right.
client first, they're not going to be a client of yours. But we're now moving into this notion of abundance. And the online coaching industry has embraced this notion big time.
Yeah.
And we realized that you're not a competitor, you're a potential partner, and so
Yeah.
are others who are serving this industry. So in
Hmm.
the age of connection, we seek out others who are serving our market, our audience, and we partner with them for things like this, for example.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. And so how did that provide the, the like the push, or like the initial impetus for you to grow your list and your audience?
Right. So you're going, okay, great. So you understand that you got to connect, you got to find others. And that's a little intimidating, right? When you're just
Yeah.
getting started. I'm looking at, again, all the big wigs, the Amy Porterfields, all the people I've been, throwing money at in
Yeah.
hopes that they would fix my problem. And suddenly I'm being told those are the people and others that you want to partner with. Well, that's intimidating.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Who am I to, right? Why would Amy Porterfield want to partner
Yeah.
with me?
Wow.
And so, but when I learned this, I started looking around me and I started realizing I'm sure you and your audience have seen summits
Yep.
many times before, right?
Hmm.
Well, what finally dawned on me is that these are how people are partnering with other experts who are in their industry, who are serving their audience, and and sharing the audience. So I
Cool.
started
Yeah.
looking at people doing these summits, and I went, aha, I get it. So that's what these people are doing. And you don't have to partner with somebody like Amy Porterfield. There are thousands of people, thousands of colleagues that are serving my audience that are a lot closer to my business, where my business is at, than Amy
Yeah.
Porterfield, that are happy to partner.
Yeah.
So I started thinking, wow, maybe I should try one of these summit things. But
Hmm.
again, I'm thinking, wow, that sounds like a lot of work. I don't know any of these people. Where do I find them? How do I go? And I plugged into this community that was growing their business from summits.
Hmm.
And I said, that still looks kind of intimidating. So let me see what I can do with just 5 speakers.
Hmm.
Let me
Hmm.
get just 5 speakers. I can handle that. And I started reaching out on Google and looking at book authors and looking at people I had been following and came across. And much to my surprise and delight, some of the people that I had been following that I thought, oh, they're way out of my league. But I thought, I put my big girl panties on and I sent them an invitation. And much to my surprise and delight, many of them answered and said, sure, I'd love to be on your summit. And it wasn't a real summit because there was only 5 speakers. So I call it a micro summit.
And that's trademarked, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I said, well, okay. I couldn't believe it. I got my 5 people, and some of them were, I'd never heard of them, never knew them. I found them off their names off of, they were authors of books or whatever. I just found 5 people and we put together this summit. It was really easy with just 5 people, and they were so supportive. They were all farther along in my business than I was because I was just getting started. And they
Yeah.
were all wonderful and supportive. And I really saw how this connection is not only effective, but it's really fun, right? To,
Yeah.
just have conversations
Yeah.
with people and interview them. And I
Yeah.
ended up with 600 people on my list.
Oh my goodness, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Wow.
Thank you.
So did you do them live or recorded?
I did mine recorded.
Hmm.
There's all now since then I've been teaching that model. I've been helping others fill their programs and get clients um, with this model that I've since then really developed out,
Yeah.
right? So that now I have it's a very prescribed way to find the people and to invite them and to build a connection with them so that they want to promote, and
Right.
who to find and what kind of topic. These are all, I just kind of frankly stumbled upon the right combination. It's that beginner's luck kind of thing, right?
Hmm.
But as I started doing them more and more, since then, I've probably done oh gosh, more than a dozen of these
Lovely.
micro summits, and I've built my list and I've grown my business. And one interesting little side note I will have, I'd love to enter here. Once you have an audience that you have attracted intentionally this way, and when I say intentionally, you really want to have a topic that ties into your offer,
Hmm.
right? And it becomes very easy then to fill your calendar after your micro summit
Right.
or sell your program or whatever it is. Um, what I discovered was that the audience I had originally targeted. Remember, I
Yeah.
said my target audience and my program and all. They I had attracted almost none of those people,
Interesting.
but what I did attract were like really who my ideal clients are, like, and
Hmm.
I could only have known that. So I see a lot of people making this mistake. I'm going to call it a mistake because it's like trying to pick your ideal client or your target audience out of your head or your imagination.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had totally screwed it up, but what I discovered is you can royally screw it up like that and still attract the right people. And it was through attracting the people, and I literally had my calendar filled, by the way, after that first summit. And that was what got my business off the ground and cash flowing. I had my first 5-figure month. I had my first clients. And like I said, they were not at all the audience that I was targeting, but by seeing who I attracted, I could piece together
Mm-hmm.
who is an ideal target audience for me. And it
Hmm.
makes sense in hindsight. In hindsight,
Right.
everything
Yeah.
makes sense. Now I can help people figure that out before the fact so they don't have to kind of,
Yeah.
shoot in the dark. But that's all.
So I just like to go over that point again because I think it's so interesting. Is like that we're taught that, oh, you have to, yeah, create your avatar and and know what they have for breakfast and all that stuff. Um, and so what you're saying is that you put together this summit based on what you thought your target audience was. And then you put it out there, these interviews in the micro summit, and the people that were attracted, which was a combination of the people who were also mailing for you, right? So that brought a particular kind of person to your list. And
Yeah.
then you realize, like, oh, I thought my ideal client was this, but actually I'm attracting these wonderful people.
Yes, it's exactly how it is, and like I said, now I can reverse engineer that process for my clients to figure out. So the worst thing in the world is to just pluck somebody out of your head, and that's the thing. Everybody says yes, you need an avatar. I agree. Yes, you need an avatar, but how do you figure out who that person is?
Yeah, yeah,
Right. So
exactly.
that's the big thing. Well, so now I can, hi, Catherine. So now I understand that when we examine who we've attracted before,
Yeah.
like not only clients, so if you've never had a client, that's fine. There are people that come to you for advice and help. And
Hmm.
if we look at those people, we can start to see patterns in the
Mm.
kind of person that you attract and
Mm.
that you are ideally suited to help. And to me, the process of building a thriving online business is the process of deepening your understanding of those people.
Mm. Right.
So I kind of just hit the mark, like, it was just fortuitous.
Yeah.
If I hadn't been questioning the people that I attracted and was talking to and started looking at, and I actually did that. I created a matrix of all those people and I asked myself, what do they all have in common? What were their, like,
Mm.
what was the common thread about their concerns? Where were they in their life slash business
Mhm.
slash growth, like, and as soon as you start
Wow.
laying it out like that, you can truly see the patterns, and then you know what to speak into.
Right, right. And may I ask, how did you find out all that information about them?
Talking to them. I asked them, otherwise
Wow.
known as in the industry as a discovery call. So
Right.
the best thing about discovery calls, if you approach it with this in mind, is to know that you will always get one of two or both super valuable things out of every discovery call that you get. So, one is obviously a client, a paying client, and the other is information.
Right.
And so discovery calls, yes, are your friend. Discovery calls are your friend. You and if you oh, if you've realized that they are information gathering as well as a sales call, you will always get something valuable out of them.
Yeah.
Now, I literally had dozens of discovery calls, as most of my clients do, after a micro summit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I was able to really start seeing patterns and piece together who these people were. And as soon as you do that, you go, oh, I get it. I get it. Right. Now, can I lay one of the biggest mistakes that us change makers make
Yes, please.
on you? Yeah. So the biggest mistake we make is that we are speaking to the person that we're speaking to our solution for people, our
Okay.
diagnosis and our solution,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need yoga, you need to blah blah blah. So we're speaking to the person, we're speaking to our client after we've helped transform them.
Right.
So
Right.
what we need to do is understand where those people are, what they think is the problem before we get our hot little mitts on them and help
Right.
to transform them, right? So when that's what those discovery calls and information, that's what I mean by deepening your understanding. So you don't want to talk about the thing that you know people need. You want to talk about the problem that they feel stuck or
Yeah.
they feel stuck.
Right. Right. Very cool. And I'm going to put that up there. You need to speak to what your clients think their problem is, not your solution.
Not your solution. Can I give you a quick example from one of
Yeah,
my clients?
please.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she really helps people heal their wounding, childhood wounding. And
Mhm.
so she talks about wounding and blah, 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 blah. So her clients aren't hearing her. They're not relating what they're experiencing in life to childhood wounding. They're not there yet. That's what they need
Right.
her for.
Yeah.
So we've been experimenting with different, we write emails and create programs, do all sorts of things and see what people respond to. Right.
Right.
So we've been talking about relationship and intimacy and da 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 and da da da, kind of lukewarm response, lukewarm response. The other day, she sent an email to her list that she has built from doing micro summits. She sent an email about betrayal.
Mm.
Boom, like 5 discovery calls just like that. So
Wow.
now we know her people are where they're feeling stuck is on
Mm-hmm.
betrayal, forgiveness, betrayal, shame, blame, all that place there. So
Right.
that's what she needs to talk about, not healing wounding. So once she gets them into a discovery call, she can help them make that connection. And then
Mm-hmm.
that fires them up to hire her to help them heal their wounding. But if we talk about wounding, they're not there yet. They're not going to hear her.
Wow, that's really powerful. So, how can people get in touch with you and learn more about you and maybe hop on a discovery call with you?
I love that. Thank you. Well, I tell you what, I just sent you a link. I have a little freebie for your audience.
Ooh,
Yeah,
lovely.
it's a little free training. I sent you a link. Maybe you can put it in the comments
Yes.
or something. But what it is, it's a 5-minute training. So it's not
Okay.
going to take any length of time out of your day at all. And I basically walk you through figuring out what you should be talking about to get the attention of your ideal clients.
Awesome. Wow.
So instead of talking about wounding, you'll find out what your version of betrayal is, what's going to perk up your clients' ears and get them to hear you. So it's basically called Get Discovered Online, what to talk
Ooh.
about to get your ideal clients to notice you.
That's awesome. So I put it into the comments here, and then I'll post it afterwards because sometimes StreamYard doesn't allow us to, post comments. But I will
Yeah.
make sure that it's wherever I've put this, that it'll be there.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, I think that I know people find that very useful. And in 15 minutes, you can really uh, get clear on what your version of betrayal is.
Very cool. Very cool. I love that. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today and
Oh,
connect.
thank you for having me. It's been great.
Thank you. And thanks everybody for watching. Catherine Wilking, thank you for watching. And I know there's somebody else there. You can post a comment, or if you've got a question for Barbara, she'll be able to come back and answer your question too.
Absolutely.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.